I guess what happens when leaders can't trust their numbers?
I mean, I feel like this is something that's happening a lot lately now, especially with layoffs or even with companies looking for investors. Imagine looking for an investor, you give the investor your P&L, but the P&L is showing information. The P&L is not bad, but it's showing like maybe there are some margins that don't make sense. And again, that just has to do with data maybe just not going in the right bucket. For instance, I tend to see with starting with a new client that certain things that are booked as operating expenses are actually project expenses, but it's not rolled up in the correct bucket. So they're looking at your operating expenses and they're saying, wow, why is their operating expenses 50% of like their income? That doesn't make any sense. So then we have to kind of go back and trace what's going on with that. And an investor is not going to want to sit around and wait for you to make that decision. So what could have been a lucrative investment is now lost because the books don't really reflect the truth of how your business runs.
What other kind of red flags do you typically find with a lot of these companies, or maybe what an investor find that an operator might not notice themselves?
I mean, it's really a lot of disconnected systems that really do just cause a lot of discrepancies in numbers. Like the overall numbers will be correct. When you'll file taxes, everything is fine. But sometimes when you're looking at the numbers on a month over month basis, the highs and lows look off. Let's say for instance, with a company that has deferred revenue, you have to check that on a month to month basis. Let's say if it's a product company that's shipping products out, they have to check, see what's actually shipped, and then recognize that revenue in the next month. But say you're not doing that properly and you're recognizing that revenue every 3 months, an investor is going to look at that and say, so for these months, they're not making any income. That doesn't look like something I want to invest in. You can give him the explanation of why you're working that way, but it may not be something an investor would want to, put their money into.
Yeah. It all comes down to financial discipline at some point.
Financial discipline and also financial controls. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can have a great company, but if it's not being run correctly financially, then usually that's a red flag that it's not going anywhere.